confidence is pretty high with that group.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we played a very clean game. Very few mistakes. I mean, if you want me to talk about mistakes, I got a small list of them, but from letting the quarterback scramble around, a couple misfits in the run game, that was those couple things in particular. But yeah, our guys played a really disciplined, clean football game, and as I said after the game, that was the most pleasing part of the game. Sometimes the statistics are misleading, and but you good or bad, but you play well, and you're happy and you're satisfied, and and that's kind of how you felt after the game. Our guys, again, were for 4 quarters played a real complete, very precise game that really executed at a high level.
Now, Robert and Corey both said that it was their favorite game they had ever played in defensively for Clemson. Could you see that?
Oh, it looked like they had a lot of confidence, very focused for the entire game, and really felt that they enjoyed playing because they knew what was coming, and they were playing discipline. I just thought, just overall, really discipline, and then the game's so much simpler when you play with discipline, and you're reading your key, and you're trusting your key, and reacting to your key, and then you're simplifying the game, so now you're able to play fast and physical, and everybody kind of did their part. There were no quote-unquote weak links in the game. All 3 levels really played well, and so were they happy? You saw guys enjoying the game, and that doesn't happen a whole lot, and sometimes you kind of get in the groove and you catch a team when they're a little bit off and you're really on, and again you kind of overwhelm them. And again, as a football team, we really complemented each other in every way really well. So it's not just about just playing well, it's also catching them on a bad day too, where sometimes it's not as much you, sometimes it's you and them not executing for whatever reason. So that being said, long story short, I can see why they were having fun out there.
What do you expect to see in your first meeting with Louisville from an offensive standpoint with Coach Petrino and Coach McGee as their offensive coordinator?
Tough and physical, multiple. They've got excellent wideouts and 2 or 3 backs that are strong and physical and explosive. Good tight ends, and again, like I say, multiple in their formations and things they do in the run and the play action. We'll get a little bit like last week in regards to a variety of personnel groups, and they do a great job of using those personnel groups the right way. They try to put themselves in favorable matchups, and not really have had any experience defending their schemes. It's kind of been kind of getting baptized here this week in that regard. And, you going back and looking back all the way, at Western Kentucky as well, and seeing some of the DNA, if you will, of the bread and butter, things that show up pretty consistently. I think they won maybe 8 games. Coach Petrino won 8 games last year at Western Kentucky, and that obviously doesn't happen by accident. He knows what he's doing. The players are very confident. The O-line plays aggressive, and they're talented. Coach Strong and their staff did a great job of recruiting, and I think that's well documented in their success against top teams as renownedly known. So they won't come into Death Valley in awe. I don't believe. I think the mantra of that team is about being tough and having an edge to them, and competing at a very, very high emotional level. There are a lot of guys that wear it on the sleeve, and I like that. I've got respect for that. So.
What What was your initial evaluation when Vic Beasley, first time you put your eyes on him? I know it took him a while to find his spot, but when you first saw him, what was your initial evaluation?
I thought he was a linebacker. You know, but he's long. You know, obviously he's a ball of muscle, and but he's got good length to him. I was saying before I saw him play.
When you first got here and evaluated what you had, when you started evaluating your players?
Quick and explosive, great change in direction.
Where would you evaluate or place Trino as an offensive mind and play caller against some of the other really good offensive minds you faced?
Oh, he's obviously, I mean, his track record speaks for itself. You know, what they're able to do on offense. And, you know, he's had incredible success, very consistent success, more success than most. So he doesn't need me to rate him. You know, he's done well for himself. And wherever he goes, his players play at a high level. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to put him in a position to be successful, how to execute and be precise and be competitive and tough. That's what I can appreciate the most, whether it's his receivers blocking on the perimeter or the competitiveness overall as a unit and the confidence that they play with. That's something that's always followed him.
Is there any particular trait or trend to his play calling?
They move the ball and they score points. There are multiple, you know, and how they do it is not just one thing. You know, Mike Leach is known for the air raid, and he does an awesome job as well. They put up prolific numbers throwing the football. You know, you know, I think he understands how to utilize his personnel based on what he has. And, he's an excellent football coach.
Is it fun for you to go up against a guy like that?
I don't ever. It's not me. I'm not going to tackle anybody, cover anybody. I just, it's, your plan or your schemes, how you called it, that's way overrates how your players play. The precision, the technique, the effort, the toughness. You know, this game's always about fundamentals and technique, and who's playing with great effort. And you know, coaches get way too much credit. That's definitely it will be about me, Coach Petrino, get to the field Saturday.
Daniel mentioned Tony Stewart not only playing at a high level, but also looking like he's having the time of his life out there. You kind of have a similar assessment as to his level of play and also his enthusiasm.
He's playing very, very confident, having fun, enjoying themselves. He's in a leadership role. It's very natural for him. And he's playing very well. He's graded out really well overall this season. Kind of hitting his stride right now, and it's a great time for him to be able to do that. You know, being a senior year, obviously, going through the things that he's had to overcome. So, as a coach, you always enjoy seeing your players have that kind of success, especially as hard a worker he's been.